Good evening. Alright, time to go through this descent into insanity for the second time. If you watched the last video, which of course you watched the last video, or else you're going to be continuing to watch this stuff. My god, this is infuriating. Well, there's a problem. Basically, last video was my intro video talking about Shameless, and I talked about three different characters, Fiona, Anne, and Lip, all of their own little stories, and I basically went over the basics for my project. Today will be a close reading analysis on Shameless, the TV show from the last one, of course, and the TV show that will be in the next video. The two videos we'll be using for our sources from Shameless will be Occupy Fiona, which is in Season 8, Episode 7, and A Gallagher Pedicure, which is also Season 8, but it's Episode 11. We'll also be talking in detail about the parts of these two sources and how the relation to topics we talked about last time, such as like mental illnesses, gender stereotypes, gang violence, which is one of the major things in one of these clips. So,
What the? There's a dumpster welded to my car? Who the welded a dumpster to my car? What the mother?
What's going on down here?
I'm fired, but it was 100% worth it to see the look on that scumbag's face. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Nadine. And I'll be back Friday to collect my last check.
the video you just saw shows Debbie, who's a single mom, one of the main characters, and is also a teen. She's taking care of Franny while also working at a teller job for a parking garage. This clip is also related to gender roles, as we see that women are now more dangerous or different parts of the workforce than they used to be. So years and years ago, women were in different places of work. Nowadays we see them like women are in the military, women can even run companies and such, and women have gained more rights. And that has been a major change through time. And we don't see Debbie as much going for her own career or standing out as much as we would like to, but we do see one major thing: the ability to care for their child. One of the roles women were expected to be were the stay-at-home caregiver. Now, Debbie still wants to make a name for herself, so she still goes to work, but makes sure she can take care of Franny at the same time. Even if it means starting from the bottom as a teller at a parking garage and getting money for, let's say, a welding career, she still is trying. And it shows her intuition and her ability to advance or change or evolve throughout the show.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
Cable fucking TV, cheerleading camp, cross country, and mom always ragging on me to study. And for what? So I could end up like them? They're miserable, please.
This is it. This is where my first job was.
Selling crack? That is so cool.
Yo, you gotta bow walk. This is my corner.
I used to work this corner. Where's G-Dog?
That's his brains, right there. That dark spot. Damn! Shoot her down! Get down!
Oh my god! They shot at us!
The clip you just saw was Carl, one of the other main characters who joins the military later on, or is going to West Point at this point in the show, is focused on where he sold drugs for a gang earlier in the show, a couple seasons back. And during this clip, as you see, a random person driving a car drives by, and another person inside the vehicle fires a weapon from inside. This is focused on the gang violence in the downtown Chicago area, or just gang violence in general, which also is related to one of my sources showing that gang violence has gone a lot heavier and it's also about territory. Now, the very beginning part of that, you saw one African-American man saying how this is his corner. Carl replies saying that he used to work this corner. This is talking about territory. Now, in gang wars and such, it's mostly based around territory and or drugs, which is also talked about by Cassidy, the girl in the clip, and how. So it also focuses on how likely there is for violence in between two gangs. And this time it's the gang that Carl joined and an unnamed gang, but it's just as likely to happen when there's a gang war going on. This is also in relation to Carl's role as a cadet in West Point. He took after his brother, Ian, who's also, as talked about in the last video, was the bipolar gay Jesus. Yeah, the last episode was pretty weird. But he got into West Point Academy, which also kind of ties into gender roles a small bit. Gender roles we talked with Debbie is how like some women are in the military, women could be CEOs of companies, and Debbie has a teller job. One of the expected roles for men in the past used to be to go into the military. And for some reason, or earlier in the show we found out why, but Carl actually joins the military. Well, he joins West Point as a cadet, but he's in a military school. So it continues on for the gender stereotype or gender role of join the military or fight for your country or being in a more harsh, violent, or hard line of work.